So we are entering into one of the worst real estate markets since 2008. I told y'all that when the market got bad, I would walk point and tell you. And I feel like we're at that tipping point. We're at that point where things are just starting to go off the edge. When you factor in real estate affordability, we factor in interest rates, we factor in all the things I'm going to talk about in this video. These things are the major elements. If I were to make a case on when the real estate market is going to fall, it's going to be in this video, and I'm going to talk about those as I go through this video, and I'm going to give you my best case possible of what's going to happen to the real estate market. The storm clouds are brewing, and the chessboard has set itself for a change. I've drawn up about 10 or 12 different points that, as a real estate agent in the real estate industry, somebody that actually sells a lot of houses, I'm going to talk to you about what I'm seeing and about 10 points that if I were to make the argument for a collapse, this would be it. You know, just market sentiment has changed a lot. And here in Pensacola, we have started the whole NAR settlement a month earlier than everybody else. Real estate agents here are trying to figure out how to navigate buyer's agent agreements, where you have to sign a buyer's agent agreement before you can even be shown a house. All these rules are being, put in on real estate agents that didn't ask for it, but we're being forced to do these things. And between that, interest rates being high, has grown really cold. Check this beautiful church out behind me. I've talked about it in a lot of my videos that probably 50% of the real estate agents in the market right now are going to go by the wayside. The whole way we've been doing business is getting turned upside down. They're trying to keep agents from steering, but what has wound up happening is that buyers are steering themselves. We've got scam artists running all throughout the real estate market, and we're a month before the entire nation is going to actually start instituting this NAR settlement. That's going to be on August 17th. Not really signed until like December, and they can still change all this. But it's setting the chessboard up to a massive problem, a big failure. And I'm going to talk about that more here in a second. If you're here in Florida, you know that insurance is astronomical. It's a super pain to get, super pain to keep. I told you the story about Hutch that got dropped the other day for a handrail on his 1944 house, that nobody's had something like that in 80 years. And then all of a sudden, even Citizen says that you gotta have this handrail, just looking for reasons to drop you. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about this guy that put his house up for sale, and the insurance company dropped him for that. 20% of the people in our market right now are insuring themselves. If you own your house outright, well, they just said, I'm gonna self-insure. If something happens, I'll just pay for it out of pocket. Interest rates has basically stopped people from wanting to buy properties, along with everything else. The cost of ownership is astronomical. And for the average homeowner, they're going to spend almost 40% of their monthly income on mortgage, insurance, and just the cost of housing, which is wild. I'm going to put up right here on the screen just houses in my area that are listed for 100 days, 200 days. Don't even get me started on condos. Talk about that here right now. Condos are about to get assessed. The SERS studies are coming out December. They have to forecast for repairs. Like, let's say they need a roof or anything within the 4 points, roof, plumbing, wiring, anything structural. They're going to have to pool their money, which means assessing the condo owners, put it in this pile of money or in this bank account, and that's how they're going to do the future repairs on these condos. There's people out there getting hit with $100,000 assessments, $200,000 assessments, and that's wild. And all this is in the state of Florida. Now, comment down below, but who do you think is responsible for this whole mess? Is it the governor? Is it the Florida legislature? Is it the president or the future president, the next president of the United States? Comment down below and let me know what you think. There was a time when I was a college kid that I could get a Taco Bell number 6 for about $5. And that's what I lived on. I went and ordered one the other day. You know what it was? $14 for me to get a number 6 at Taco Bell. $14. And that's when I realized the price of everything has just gone through the ceiling, and it makes no sense. And it happened all of a sudden. It's, when politicians decide to print a bunch of money and pay a bunch of bills that they don't need to be paying, and we get left with inflation. My next big one is commercial real estate. $1.2 trillion, we've talked about this a lot, has to be refinanced this year. And when they go to refinance these properties, because most of them are vacant, especially in the state of New York, that they're not going to be worth the book value that they were actually financed for before. And when these banks, when their book value starts to go down because of their loans they're issuing, are going to start going belly up, you're going to see commercial real estate implode. And I don't think people are preparing for this. And this is just another thing that is going to drag the real estate market down. It just goes on and on and on and on. The next one I've talked about relentlessly is the 5% rent cap, to where you can only increase rents 5%. And when you already have commercial real estate that will not cash flow, and then now you're going to put a 5% rent cap on them, you know, for what they can increase the rent per year. Well, you think when everything else goes up, they're not going to collapse? Let me put it this way. When my lawyer goes up, when my taxes go up, when my insurance goes up, when my accountant goes up, when the maintenance guy goes up, when everybody involved in a real estate deal consistently goes up, you have to be able to raise rents. We're already starting to see some of the large commercial holders, even single-family residential commercial holders like Blackstone, BlackRock, are starting to let loose of some of these properties because they're not going to cash flow anymore. The cost to operate is just too high. Our venture consultant, he's been nailing this, doing a great job doing it, and he's proving that people are starting to offload these properties. Let me give you another statistic, and I just ran this one while I was filming this video. There's 20% cancellation of contracts in the month of June. July, going to be higher. August, going to be higher. Let me tell you, the market is absolutely frozen, and it's just going to go down from here because whether it's transaction problems, whether it's cash problems, here's another statistic. There's a drastic reduction in the amount of cash deals being done. And what does that tell me? You know, it tells me that the huge hedge funds have stopped gobbling up properties as much. And then we're seeing a lot more loans being done. And we're seeing properties come on the market. I've gotten 4 listings this week. And it's the same with some of my other big agent friends, that the amount of properties coming on the market are going up. There's 19 listings just in Little Navy Point itself. And when you're seeing rate cut after rate cut, there's a big difference here. Never confuse profit taking and price cuts. Now, let's say they bought it for $100,000 or sell it for $200,000. You see a $20,000 cut on that property, they're still going to make 80. But if you think about across the board, you're seeing things sit for 30, 40, 100 days. You're seeing $20,000 cut, $20,000 cut, $30,000 cut. You're starting to see a pattern. Things are changing. I told y'all before, when I saw things changing, it's probably about a year ago, I said, this is going to be my plan to get rich when this market collapses. And I'm seeing it play out. You know, I did that flip last year, got in, got out. And then this year, I'm starting to see things tip over. When we go into the winter, it's always the best time to buy properties in the winter. When we go into the winter, that's when we're going to start seeing this market completely stagnant. They're saying they're going to do an interest rate cut in December. Well, what, 0.25? You think that's going to really do anything? We're going to see who's going to be who's going to be elected next, whether it's, you know, a Democrat or a Republican. We're going to see what the DOJ decides to do with the decoupling of real estate agents. The DOJ is following what the party lines are doing. The Democrats want to bust up NAR. They want to get rid of real estate agents and their commission and how it works. The Republicans are probably going to put it back the way it was. So we got to decide what's going on there. And interest rates will be the fall. I think both administrations are going to reduce interest rates next year. They got to revive this market because we're going to go into a recession. You can give me the CPI numbers all you want. You can give me all these numbers you want. But when I look at lower middle class America, upper class America, and they can't afford a house, we're in real problems. When a Taco Bell is $14, when a Subway is $12, we got real problems. In conclusion to this video, I wanted to just come out and make this video for you that I see 2 things going on here. Either we have a reverse bubble and we see mass inflation and properties keep going up, cost of operation keeps going up, and they print more money to keep up with all this, as in lowering interest rates in the next year. Or we see a full-blown belly up, 20% retracement. Saw a good statistic from Valuetainment, 15% retracement in housing. Goldman Sachs said 15 to 20 last year. We saw a retracement the beginning of this year, and then we saw it come back. Case and Schiller report, I think, is lying to us, because in California it's different than New York and then in Florida. But we're starting to see Tampa, Orlando, Austin, all these cities are starting to see a really stagnation in the housing market. And it's crazy. This is about to happen, y'all, and I don't know what to do. I'm just going to sit back and watch it. But that's it for today, guys. I want you to comment. I want you to like and subscribe, and tell me what you want me to talk about next, because I really like these kind of videos. I can nail them down on my phone, and it gives a lot of inspiration and thought into, as a real estate agent, what it's like and what I think about on this stuff. See you guys later.